Well, jeepers! You're listening to Smash or Pass.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Smash or Pass podcast. My name is JB and joining me as always is the amazing and incredible Millie Millie.
Hi.
And we have our supreme leader, Bonkers Rihanna.
Hello.
So today we are going to be reviewing Scooby-Doo and a Mummy 2. So if you are listening to this, I'm going to assume that you're a Scooby-Doo fan. So we have reviewed all the movies and all previous episodes in the past, so please do check that out. They're all in a nice little playlist, and we also do weekly interviews with people that have worked on Scooby-Doo. The one that we've just announced that will be going out in less than 24 hours time now is with David Kaye, who plays some really cool roles in Scooby-Doo, including the Blue Falcon from Guess Who, so that's really exciting. Check them up on IMDb, they've done so many cool things that we just can't wait to share with you guys. So without further ado, if you haven't listened or if you haven't watched this episode for a long time, which we can appreciate, 1969 after all, then I guess Rihanna will break it down with a bit of a plot summary.
Okay, so this is Scooby-Doo and a Mummy 2, and I would like to just quickly jump onto my soapbox before I say this plot summary. If you've been watching Scooby series of
Wait, why are you
me and
laughing?
everything for a while, then you will know that
Oh my
Tracy and
god.
I made a deal. We made a deal, and Scooby-Doo and a Mummy 2, I had to watch Endgame before this review. And today, I watched the Endgame, and now I'm mentally scarred.
Oh my god, I don't believe you.
I
don't believe you.
did.
Prove it. What happens? Prove it to me.
Okay, so, oh jeez, I'm mentally traumatized. Okay, so it starts off with
Spoiler alert
Clint.
for people that haven't watched Endgame, but you should have watched it by now, so tough. Hard cheese, boy, hard cheese.
I've avoided spoilers for 3+ years that it's been out, and now I finally watched it. So it starts off with Clint hugging his, doing archery with his children and everything, spending time with his family. They get dusted, and I
Wait,
started
Velma
crying.
gets dusted.
Yeah, Velma gets
Holy
dusted.
crap.
And I was crying. And then, as the film goes on, I'm just having an emotional breakdown. Natasha dies. What the heck, Marvel? No, thank you. I don't appreciate that. And then Tony Stark sacrificed himself. I'm really mad at Steve Rogers, by the way. But that will be a rant for another time because, we're supposed to be focusing on Scooby-Doo.
Right, to be fair, if you've seen Hayley Atwell, you'll understand why Mr. Steve makes his decision.
Jamie,
Yeah,
what
but
if you don't behave through this review? You're sleeping outside with you.
No, that was off camera, so we don't have context for that today.
The thing is that, okay, this will be my resting statement. I'm mad at Steve Rogers because he betrayed Bucky. He was selfish. That's my resting statement. And I'm upset. And I'm still, I'm on the verge of tears.
Maybe he's
But
not gonna Sebastian stand for this. No?
Oh, I like that. I really like that. Judy. Are you proud of me?
I can't believe you did it. I still don't believe you. I'm completely aghast.
I was messaging. This is why we're recording so late as well, because I was messaging Millie. This morning I watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then with dinner I went straight into Endgame with Ryan, and I've been crying. And I was messaging Millie, so Millie knew all about it, and we kept it a secret from you.
You're a traitor.
JB, when are you getting Rihanna and Marvel schedule together for the movies and
Yeah.
series? Because I want to watch the most recent Spider-Man movie with her now.
Well,
But obviously there's things to get up to date on before we can watch that.
no, we'll discuss that, or maybe someone can put it in the comment section. Because if someone is listening and you're a bit frustrated that this has been delayed a bit, look, this is months in the making, so you can sit through this
This
because
has
this
been
is
a lot of bullying
groundbreaking.
from JB to Rihanna.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
I genuinely, Ryan was with me this whole time, and my mum was watching me, and she had to give me a hug and look after me, so I was crying, and I tried to piece myself together for this review. So I feel like I should win a prize because of this.
Did it make you go bonkers?
It made me go depressed and borderline, no, I'm not gonna say it 'cause that might get us moved off.
Oh my gosh.
Marvel needs to pay for my therapy.
Yeah, it's
I'm
emotional damage,
messed
but
up.
I think if you continue watching the Marvel stuff, they may make up for it. I'll say that much.
All I'll say is they better give Bucky a good, like, he needs a good life. I'm rooting for Bucky because he's been left with Sam Wilson of all people, who will probably stab him in the back the first moment he gets because he hates his guts.
Oh yeah, they don't like each other. Not a very friendly duo for certain. But if you continue with the series, you'll be able to hear David Kaye in the Eternals movie, which we definitely discuss about in the interviews. Again, we're bringing it back, bringing it back. This is what we do here. We're trained at this point. People watching this probably don't have a very, very long attention span like me. That's why we keep it dynamic, right? So, oh my gosh, David Kaye is in the Eternals. That's the MCU, big bucks, productions, massive, major movies. You're gonna hear David Kaye in the Eternals. You probably have heard David Kaye on the big screen, and tomorrow you will hear David Kaye in the Smash or Pass studio to get the Smash or Pass treatment from yours truly, JB, Millie, and Rihanna. So who knows what's gonna happen? Who knows? Do they spill great secrets? Do they tell us things about the MCU? Do they tell us things about their next Scooby project? I mean, I don't know. So maybe you can tell me tomorrow. Who knows?
Do you want to know one thing I do know?
Is it that you're a master of the universe?
I am a master of the universe. I'm the sorcerer supreme. No, I'm not that great, actually. But what I do know is the plot summary for Scooby-Doo and a Mummy 2. So, the gang visits the Department of Archaeology, where they see an ancient mummy. But of course, as any mummy, it comes with a curse for anyone who removes him from his tomb. Now, Shaggy being Shaggy, he accidentally puts an ancient coin in his pocket. And when the gang returned to the university after going to, I believe it was the malt shop, they find the mummy has come to life and is looking for the coin that Shaggy has acquired. Will the curse of the mummy get Scooby and the gang? Let's find out, shall we?
I mean, essentially, this is pretty much What a Night for a Night, but the night is soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Quite simply put, JB, it's very similar to that. I mean, like we're saying, it's again kind of like a museum thing.
What a mum for a mum.
Shaggy, like we say, finds the ancient coin, and then the mummy disappears. So what do you both think to the mummy as the villain, I guess, in concept and aesthetically as well? Starting with JB?
Oh, well, it's a bit... To me, it's kind of fascinating because I used to love learning about Egypt. I once got this massive book. I don't know how big it was. It was like arm's length for me even now.
Oh, I remember that book, I think. When
Yeah, all gold with like the symbol, like the sun symbol in the middle of like a red jewel. Like obviously fake plastic red jewel. But I just loved learning about things. I went to the Tutankhamun exhibition in the O2 in London. So love all the Egypt stuff. It's just amazing. Although I do think out of everything with Egypt mythology, and maybe this is me coming from Moon Knight as well, which borrows a lot from the Egyptian cultures and all the myths and legends and gods, I kind of feel like the mummy was the safest option to do, which I wasn't too happy about. I think maybe like a demonic Anubis would have been such a cool thing, especially because it's almost like a dog, and Scooby and Anubis could have had a little like back and forth. I think that would have been really cool, but they went for the safest option, and I'm gonna say that for me it was a bit bland. I think the execution made it work quite a lot for me, because one of the things that I haven't really enjoyed about the Scooby villain so far has been the voices. No matter if it's a knight or an ape, they've always kind of gone for like a approach, and it's just been kind of bland, almost like they've just had one voice that they've reused. Whereas this, you had like the moaning, you really get the sense that this mummy was once alive, and also then there's coin, which I love. So I really like the mummy.
I think you've made some valid points there, but I think kind of as we saw in the last episode, they really like to stick with some generic, well-associated, easily identifiable kind of villains for this. And I think that's something they've continued here, that mummy is a kind of, you know, a lot of people, it's a Halloween costume, you know what I mean? It's quite a recognisable thing. And I think for me, they designed it relatively well. Like, looked about as creepy as a mummy can, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Rihanna, what did you think to this villain concept-wise, aesthetics-wise?
So this is one of my favorite villains because I think it was just designed really, really well. Please excuse me, I'm just quickly moving some stuff out of the way because we are joined by not Tatty but Poppy, and she wants to jump up on my bed. So Poppy,
Aww.
and she just okay, she's like half on, half off. But one thing that I do want to quickly touch on, which I noted down in my notes, is that I have a feeling that the mummy is based on like the I'm not 100% sure on the pronunciation, but like Caris or Caris from the Universal Studios horror movies, because in the last episode we saw Dracula, the Wolfman, and Frankenstein's monster in A Gaggle of Galloping Ghosts, which you should check out our review to find out if we smash or pass it. And the mummy, oh hello Poppy, she jumped up, she made it. The mummy is also from one of the Universal Studio horror movies, so I think they were going on a bit of a Universal horror movie kind of bender on these couple of episodes, but I think they did it really well, because one thing that I've noticed in these episodes, rewatching them, there's a very stark oh my gosh,
Dark.
I'm like
No, I'm so sorry. That's ridiculous.
oh god.
I'm so sorry. Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
The thing is, when I said it, I just started tearing up. I'm not okay. There's a very big, you can tell which is the background and what's a character, because there's a difference in colors and stuff, but they seem to have really blended the mummy in quite well with the background, where it looked very dark and gloomy, and Tony Stark could be the mummy. I'm
Tony.
not
I think Tony Stark's the daddy.
okay. I'm not okay, people.
Oh, Rihanna. The mummy is nice. I think, all in all, they could almost be assembling all the parents from Ghoul School.
Oh, that's a good point, especially in the last episode.
The only one they don't have is Phantasmophobia, or whatever she's called. Phantasmagorical.
Yes. Oh, speaking of, when you mentioned about like the Ghoul School, I was thinking, like, in this, I mean, it's skipping ahead a bit. Velma disguises herself as Cleopatra, which happens in Scooby-Doo in Where's My Mummy, which also makes me laugh because this is Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Where's My Mummy? It's like, it's quite cool that they used elements of this episode in.
Was Cleopatra a mummy?
She was turned into a mummy.
See, that's mad. Whenever I think of Cleopatra, I always think of the Cleopatra from Doctor Who. So I just see her as some like chesty woman that sits on a throne.
So when people in Egypt, after they die, it's a mummification is the process.
Everyone got mummied.
Yeah.
So I believe the two things you're talking about are the same. It's just one's life, one's death.
Ah. See, I prefer that than what we have. I don't want to be in the floor. I want to be fried. I'd love a tomb, because then I could put all my things in there with me. And I wouldn't need to sell them or pass them on to inevitably ungrateful kids. Like, no matter what kid I have, no matter how good of a parent I am, they're not gonna love all the Daphne memorabilia like it deserves to be loved. So I think that needs to stay with me. But move to Egypt. Do you agree, Miller?
No.
Why?
I'm gonna let them bin it.
Yeah, but it'll end up in a car boot sale.
It'll end up
On the floor. That thing right there will end up on some grass, and some dirty pervert will be eyeing it up, and my kids
Isn't that what happened when you bought it?
No, the kids will just go, oh, have it for a tenner, mate. I'll haunt them. I will.
Wait, is that in regards to the Daphne poster?
It will, yeah.
What will happen to Daphne Barbie?
Oh, I can't even think. Someone will probably get it for their degenerate child, and it'll end up getting its head ripped off with teeth.
No, it's okay. I'm gonna let our daughter unbox it.
Well, you know, if she enjoyed it and loved it, I'd be happy with that. Not if it was going to some dirty pervert. Because
That's what happened when you bought it, though.
it isn't. And here's the thing that I have, and I'll tell you this because it's Scooby related. I am always confused about why parents insist that kids sell their old toys or give their old toys away. Because there are toys now that you can find for Scooby that were developed in the 60s, 70s. Well, they're now going for 300 quid, 400 quid, 500 quid. They're going for so much money. And I think to myself, don't really, because you always say, what a wonderful world when I've said that. I think to myself,
What a wonderful...
no. No, I think to myself,
What a wonderful world.
oh my god, okay, I ponder to
You
my
ponder.
The
person,
question.
I ponder to my person, do these parents not understand investing in vintage material or things holding value?
Yes, but JB, sweetie, that's coming from a person whose parents could afford to send them to the most expensive private school in a relatively good distance.
Nah.
Not from a person whose parents couldn't do things like that, and so if you wanted new toys, you had to get rid of some of your old
Okay,
ones.
selling I understand. Giving them away I can't back. I can't back it.
You just need to watch Toy Story 3 to know not to back it.
Oh
yeah,
my
exactly,
god.
exactly. Toy Story,
Toy Story
3.
3.
Imagine
I
that.
cry every time. Oh,
We're
there's this
surrounded by Pokemon plushies. They could all become dictators of a daycare if we were not careful. Imagine that.
Oh. so
Tragic.
long.
Tragic. But where were we before I digressed? Because I just have to say that it was my piece on collectimism.
The gang had headed out to the malt shop, they were getting some burgers and then going to head back, and when they get back, the professors turn to stone. So one of my initial thoughts with this was like, ooh, could that mean it's the professor? Because they
yeah.
had to prepare this stone like thing, and obviously with the oh goodness, which episode am I thinking of?
Was it the Mummy movie?
No, the episode that we watched recently where because
Yes.
the old man had aged, we knew it was him because it was him at the start.
Was that... Which one was that? Was it the... It was the Puppet Master one, which was the Backstage Rage of her thing?
No, not the backstage.
No.
Elias Kingston one.
Oh gosh, I don't remember the name of that.
That is. Give me a second.
What
What's
happened
its
in that
name? What's its
episode?
name? I believe it's called. What's it called? Why isn't my brain's just going on to Endgame constantly? You guys have broken me.
JB,
JB,
it's your
you
fault.
broke me.
Oh, I think I know what it is. I think it's foul... No, it's not foul play in Funland.
No, it's. I know what it is. I believe it's what the heck's going on.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Exactly. So yeah, it reminded me of that kind of like, oh, if it's them that's been replaced, does that mean that it's going to have been them?
But obviously, like, with the whole series, really, there's been ridiculous moments where the villain acts like they've had about a week of prep time. So, I can forgive it, because this is, like, the 7th instance where it's happened, so... I'm okay with that aspect of things. So, let's switch up the scene a bit. Let's get Rihanna's perspective. When you saw that the professor had become stone, in your mind, who were you fingering?
What? Sorry.
The word JB was looking for, I think, was suspected.
Yeah, like,
Suspicious
yeah.
of.
Because I was thinking, like, because when playing like violin or guitar, like, or even keyboard, like fingering the keys, I was like,
Yeah,
what?
I got a sticker for my saxophone that said "Good Fingering." Oh, but I think I sold that now. Did I sell my Good Fingering sticker along with the saxophone?
I don't know.
If I have, I'm going to be heartbroken. Oh well.
So for me, my initial thought wasn't actually on the professor, because I think, see, part of me is like trying to remember when I was a kid and watching it, but that I feel like it's the same now. There was a brief moment which I genuinely thought, the malt shop chef? that it was him.
I thought they were
Um,
voiced by Casey Kasem.
He is.
Ah, okay, my ear's getting better.
And I thought it was him because I was like, okay, so he saw the coin. Also, he was like, what the heck am I having to make here? But no, I think my mind more went to like the what was his name when we saw him?
Oh,
Doctor.
Doctor like Nazir or something.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be racially insensitive and call him like Dr. Vindaloo or something. So it's Dr. Najib, Dr. Najib.
Which, fun fact, with people who voiced, so Don Messick voiced the Professor as well as Scooby in this episode,
Ah, okay.
and Dr. Najib was voiced by Vic Perrin, whilst the Mummy was voiced by John Stephenson, who has done voices for several of like the villains and suspects in previous episodes.
Is he
It
alive?
seems like I'm not sure actually. I do know because it seems like in what's not what's new, Scooby Doo Where Are You? It seems like the cast is usually Don Messick, Casey Kasem, Frank Welker, Stefania Christopherson, Nicole Jaffe. I mess names
I
up.
would say Jaffe. I don't know if it's right or wrong. I just
Jaffe.
like it.
Vic Perrin and John Stephenson, whichever one it is. It seems like they're quite an exclusive cast that they reuse voice actors as often as possible. So, fun little fact there.
I think the only people from this series that are actively alive have got to be Bob Singer, Frank Welker, and Stefania Christopherson. I think they're the only ones that I know of.
John Stephenson was born 1923 and died in 2015.
Oh, so long life, long life.
Yeah.
We can only pray
Oh,
for
he's got two
something.
kids.
Let's interview there.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Okay, so we kind of go through a scene then, kind of through the standard, kind of playful thing where Scooby's like hiding in a vase. They want to split up and look for clues. We get a bit of an idea that the mummy's looking for the coin. Velma, Scooby, and Shaggy all split off and reunite as Scooby gets kidnapped by the mummy.
you know, the way that the mummy kept saying coin, coin, it almost reminds me of the Courage the Cowardly Dog villain.
Yeah.
I like this, and I love the background as well, because I think that at least they made it seem very different from the What a Night for a Night Museum in a way. Like, there's some similarities, there has to be. But I just like this episode in general so far. I think it does... In fact, I've actually got a genuine criticism for this episode, which I don't think I've had for the others, but I think I'll get onto that a teeny tiny bit later. But it's at the same time the one that I think I've enjoyed in the moment the most. But...
So we then see the stone Scooby next to the real Scooby, which is when the gang start to work out what's happening, and we always kind of get that term where they start to be a little bit more confident when they're kind of almost tracking the villain or come into contact with the villain. And then Velma illustrates why she's JB's favourite character, referring to Daphne as danger-prone Daphne's turned on the power sword.
No, that annoyed me. Like, I couldn't back that at all. Like, Velma's just annoying. And I'll tell you this, right? If in an alternate reality, Mr. and Mrs. Cardinelli, not Cardinelli, if Mr. and Mrs. Cardellini never had a romantic night together, Velma would be the most hated character in Scooby-Doo. Because this is a bad Velma. Kate McCucci nowadays is R-wording my ear on the daily, and this is just unacceptable. I don't like it. If it wasn't for Cardellini, I think Velma would be just in the gutter right now. It's not good. I don't like it. I don't support it. Velma's awful. Velma should be... Look, and here's the thing, right? James Gunn and Roger Gosnell hated Scrappy to the point where in their movie they wanted to make it so Scrappy couldn't be used again. If I ever become a writer or director for a Scooby-Doo movie, I'm making Velma the villain, and she's gonna suck up a load of souls and become Velma Rex by the end of it, and that's gonna be my thing, my tribute.
Give the Velma show a chance. They might do it for you. A lot of people are thinking that could be quite.
Well, the only thing that is
Controversial.
making me hopeful for that series is
Yeah, it's
just
not
that
Kate Micucci.
it's not Kate Micucci, and she's going to be Indian. So instead of calling people danger prone, she can at least be relatable to me and make some chicken tikka masala. Oh, it's going to be great. I want to see Velma making chicken tikka masala. That's all I want from the series, because that means something to me. That's my piece. Make love, not war, people. So here's my issue with this. I don't want to get morbid,
Oh,
because I think Scooby, at least in this stage, should be all fun and stuff. I don't think it should be depressing. So I have no problem with the fact that, you know, you see a few seconds of Shaggy mourning Scooby when he seemingly turned to stone. Absolutely no issue in the world with Scooby revealing himself a couple of seconds later and playing it off for laughs, you know, because I think if they dwelled on it too long, they could have really upset kids. And for me, as a reviewer, quote unquote, I'm thinking that kills tension. They shouldn't have done that this early. I can see why it happened. What I don't understand is why the clue of the molds, you know, of the statue molds, were presented to us like 2 scenes later. I think that should have been discovered before Scooby was either kidnapped or just before Scooby was turned to stone, because then at least there's a hint that it's not real, but they don't quite know, and Scooby emerging is confirming that. Because right now, if you follow Scooby, you know it's fake for a start, but also we confirmed that it isn't real, and then the next clue is again confirmation that it's not real. So it just seems like a pointless clue, and that's my thing. That's my piece. Did you enjoy it, Millie?
It was okay. I don't have any particularly strong feelings toward this episode, be them positive or negative.
Does Rihanna like the Scooby statue?
I do, but the thing is, like, I find anything Scooby cute. Like, I want an actual Scooby statue.
I mean, if they still
I
have
found
the
one,
Scooby mold,
actually.
they can make us one for the garden.
I did find one for the garden on in fact, I
Facebook
probably should have told
Marketplace.
Rihanna, because I think the reason why I didn't want it was because it was like near London, and it was like collection only. The thing is, though, it was like 80 quid, and it was like a full-size dog heavy thing. So not only would you need 80 quid, but you'd need like 2 heavies at least to carry it, or one me when I was 17.
Moving swiftly on. So, as always, they trap the villain. This one is caught in the basketball net.
Oh, that's another thing that annoyed me.
Okay.
Simply that Velma, Shaggy, and Scooby managed to catch the villain, and then for reasons unknown, instead of unmasking the villain, decide to all 3 of them leave to go get Fred and Daphne, at which point the mummy is gone. And that's just stupid.
And
At least one of them should have either stayed back or they should have just ripped its mask off.
Something that I find confusing is why they caught them in like a gymnasium when they've got a full museum at their disposal to make interesting.
Yeah, why was there a gymnasium by a museum? Like, it makes no sense.
No, I didn't quite get it either.
Oh, yeah. Mistakes were made.
But yeah, so the mummy is caught in a basketball net. They are unmasked, and then they find the use for the coin to be to discover the diamond scarab.
Oh. Very, very, very regal indeed, if I do say so myself.
Okay, so I don't have anything else to add for this. I'm happy to go to verdicts unless either of you have anything else to say.
No, I'm pretty good. What about you, Rihanna?
I have a few little things.
Ooh.
So it's more about how they actually adapted this episode. So this episode was briefly like reimagined somewhat for in like Lego Scooby-Doo Blowout Beach Bash. There was some it actually inspired a Lego set which had like the figures of like the mummy and stuff, but it has a headdress and a sequin jewels, not a coin. And then there's also Landols actually made a coloring and activity book which had things of this episode of Scooby-Doo and a Mummy Too, and I believe it was called that. And the final thing is that Gold Key Comics adapted this in Scooby-Doo Where Are You #7, and they renamed it Somebody's Mummy, where the professor was called Art T. Fax, which was
Oh, that's fun.
Artifacts. I like that. Arty.
Okay, so with that knowledge underway, it is now time to roll to verdict. So JB, as always, you're going first. Smash
So-
or pass?
Controversy. I think this is, in fact, a more fun version of What a Night for a Night. I think what makes it for me is the turning to stone effect, to the point where it would have been utterly pointless. But this would have been one of the monsters that I would love to have seen adapted for something like Monsters Unleashed. Because I don't think any of the gang needed the drama in that movie of being turned to stone. But I think in like scenes where like, you know, where they're running away in between the cars, or where the reporter's interviewing the vomiting like zombie, I think it just would have been cool to see just a few of them like turn to stone. I don't know why. I just like the visual. So I'm gonna smash this one. I really do like Scooby-Doo and a Mummy Too. And of course, long-time viewers will know that I'm a big fan of a yummy mummy. So yeah, smash all around. Millie. What do you think? Do you want to smash or pass Scooby-Doo? Where Are You in Scooby-Doo and a Mummy Too?
I want to pass it. For me, it was kind of like a nothing episode.
What?
When we were watching it, I was just finding it really hard to focus on it, and I don't know why. See, I'd disagree with you. I'd say it was the other way around. I'd say that it was a wannabe What a Night for a Night as opposed to a better wannabe
my
Night for a
God.
Night.
You fiend.
Really?
Aww. I mean, that's good. I like
kind
that.
of-
I like
I
that.
kind of just got like a bit bored. Like there was one time when Daphne and Fred walked off and we never saw them. It felt like they weren't doing anything. It just felt like it was a bit formulaic if we're gonna split them up, and then them two didn't really lead to doing anything. And yeah, it didn't seem to bring anything unique to the table, especially off the back of the last episode that had been very unique. Even though I didn't fully enjoy it, but it was still unique and different.
So if you had to pick either the last episode or this episode, you can only pick one to pass. Which one would you pass?
This one.
Oh my gosh.
See, I think maybe I'm looking at this more positively because of the last one. Because I think the last one was...
I think you're just happy because Rihanna watched Endgame.
No, it was a stray away from the formula that I didn't appreciate. Not that I'm saying I don't appreciate all strays away, because I appreciate everything that does something different, as long as it does it well. But because I didn't think that one was done particularly well, the fact that this was so formula, I almost feel like I was being welcomed back with open arms, saying, "We're sorry, JB. Come here. This is a bit of what you enjoy."
If
And I
they're
enjoyed it.
apologising to you, they wouldn't have used the line Danger Prone Daphne.
No, see, that can F off. I don't understand that.
Okay, and finally we have Rihanna. Rihanna, would you say smash or pass for Scooby-Doo and the Mummy Too?
Okay, so I have two things. So I have a reason why I would pass it and a reason why I would smash it.
Boo.
The overall, hang on, JB, boo you first of all, because you're the reason why I would pass this. Okay.
Because it's associated with Endgame and she's never going to be able to watch this episode the same way ever again.
Yes. I would, if it wasn't for the fact that I love this episode, I would pass it. It would be my first ever pass because I had a deadline because of this episode to watch
Oh
Endgame.
no.
And now I'm really, really sad, and I've been holding back tears all episode. And then I mentioned Stark, and that makes me want to cry. But okay. I'm going to ultimately smash it because it was a really fun episode, and it's so cool because I feel like they adapted this episode more into Scooby-Doo, Where's My Mummy, and things like that, which is a really good movie. So it was fun, and yeah, that's my overall verdict is a smash. But if it wasn't for the fact that overall Endgame was a good movie, actually no, if it wasn't for the fact that if I hadn't have watched Endgame, say if I didn't, you would have spoiled it for me. It would have definitely been a pass.
See, I think a better question to ask now is to Rihanna, and that is Endgame a smash or pass?
Oh,
Oh god.
scandalous.
Oh, okay. Oh, why did you do this to me, Millie? I thought JB was bad. Okay, I will have to say a smash, but I'm not going to watch it again for a while because I be like 10-20 minutes before this episode, before we start recording, I had just finished it. And I've been trying not to cry because of this. I wanted to push through, and I'm just borderline tears right now because of Endgame, and I don't think I can watch it again. And I've just seen that on my DVD shelf in my bedroom, staring right at me is Endgame. And it's not nice. Why is it there? I thought it was behind all of them.
No.
Oh, that's sad. Oh no. Okay, but yeah, no, I'd smash it. I'm gonna watch it again, just not today or tomorrow.
You should watch
Or-
the Endgame.
I just did. Don't make me watch it again.
Which one's nice? I think
Spider-Man?
it's Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh gosh.
Which you will enjoy, because I guarantee that's nothing but rooting to it in far.
But Peter Parker's gonna be like on the verge of offing himself because he's lost his mentor.
Yeah, but he might not off himself because he's Spider-Man. Like, imagine
May as
being
well.
Spider-Man. You get to be sticky, you get to crawl walls, swing. You get some of the finest
get to
20s in the
swing?
whole of Marvel Comics.
See,
You
I
get to swim.
Yeah, you're a swinger.
obviously saying spoiler-free completely, but I remember after
I am sorry, I'm making
watching-
the stupidest noise. I
Endgame.
apologise.
I remember after watching Endgame with JB's mum, and she was like, well, Marvel's over now. They've only got Spider-Man left, and he can't take over from Tony Stark. He's no Iron
Really?
Man. And, like, just like, that's it. Marvel's done. And obviously, as we at least know, Spider-Man's got 2 movies. They've carried
And
things
tons of
on.
DVDs. I'm sorry, I had to make that reference. Do you get it?
No.
No, I'm sorry. Do you get it, Rihanna?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, I'll leave that for the comment section. That's ridiculous.
I think it. Oh, I don't know. I think because it's ended so sadly, there wasn't even a post-credit scene, and I think what really did it was this is the last time we're going to see not Sebastian Stan. We see him, Stan Lee.
Oh,
It was like his final cameo, wasn't it? And then
there
with
was a post-credit scene in
Chadwick
the cinemas, I think, but it was simply the sound of Tony Stark hitting the hammer in the cave in the first Iron Man.
yes,
That was it, I think. I don't know if they kept it on Disney Plus, but that was all
I
I got for a
think
post-credit
they-
scene.
but like also with Chadwick Boseman. Oh no.
Ooh, but interestingly enough, he's got, and this isn't a spoiler, right? He's got a few like surviving roles that you get to watch, so that's fun.
Like, it's just really sad. And like, oh gosh, I'm gonna let you finish the episode up 'cause I'm gonna stop.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you do show great resilience, you know, and I always admired this about you from the start. Like, literally, you go back to, and people don't know this, but you are such a strong person. Before we reviewed Moon Monster Madness, you were going bonkers, and not only that,
Hey!
but you didn't know us like then. It was not only were you in distress, but it was, oh my gosh, like new people essentially. And I have trouble introducing myself to people and speaking to people I'm not familiar with. So if I was in distress, I wouldn't do it. I would have said, no, I'm really sorry. Or,
You'd be distressed in distress.
you know what I mean? I wouldn't, you know. So, and the fact that you've just watched the end game and you're here doing this is just really good stuff.
You forced me.
I didn't.
Weird.
So I guess that does it for this episode. Thank you so much to everyone for listening. Again, feel free to enjoy our back catalogue. We've done over 30 interviews, over 50 reviews, and it's just so amazing. We can't wait to do more. Next movie we'll be reviewing is which is which?
Which
Movie.
episode?
What? Oh,
He's
episode
movie.
is which is which? But we'll also be reviewing Spider-Man: Far From Home as well. Obviously, no. We don't need to get into that now. So yeah, all of
Oh
Rihanna's
my gosh,
social
we
links.
should-
Can we arrange a time to watch some Marvel together?
Yeah, we will. All of
Yeah.
Rihanna's social links will be in the description down below, along with our link tree. So if you do want to see that and so much more, then please like, comment, and subscribe to JB and Millie, Tony Stark.